Hi, everyone. I'm Nicole Huckabee, and welcome to Conversations with Nicole. My guest today is actor Brett Chapin. Brett grew up in Laguna Beach, California, but he now calls Los Angeles home. He is a graduate of Laguna Playhouse Conservatory Training Program. Now, Brett has worked in countless film, theater, and television productions, including General Hospital and Grey's Anatomy. His film appearances include Hitchcock and Saw 3. Most recently, Brett worked on season one of Apple TV's Palm Royale. Brett also created La La Land Talk. It's a nationally broadcast talk show focusing on Los Angeles entertainers. I'm excited to share Brett's story with you today. I hope you enjoy our conversation. Let's get started. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Conversations with Nicole. I am delighted to have as my guest today Brett Chapin, all the way from Los Angeles, California. He is an actor. He's been in some amazing shows, and he's got some things that he's working on now that I think you'll find interesting. So we're just going to jump right in. Brett, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me, Nicole. I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you as my guest. When I started reading your bio, your lengthy resume, I thought, wow, he's done some really cool things. And not to mention you're from Laguna Beach, California originally, and what a beautiful place that must have been to grow up.
Oh, I tell you, being able to go to high school and walk down the hill to the beach every day was amazing. Yes, I was really, really lucky.
It's a beautiful spot. I'll tell you a quick story. The first time I went to Laguna Beach, we were staying at a hotel where Justin Bieber showed up. So we thought we had really arrived into the true world of celebrities and Hollywood. So there you go. You got your beginnings and where I saw one of my first stars. So I know Laguna Beach is a very lovely place, but it wasn't long after that you made your way to LA. So tell me a little bit about yourself and your background.
I moved up to Los Angeles in 2001 from Orange County, and I've just been I got a little place out here and just started doing what I love, which is being an actor, and I've gotten some started getting some extra work, and I had a little side job for about 10 years as well. So I was just concentrating on theater at the time, and I got involved with a theater called Theater Palisades for about 10 years and was on their board of directors and did two or three shows there, and just a really wonderful place out here in Los Angeles. And since then, I've just been working and auditioning and doing what I can. I've
Well, I
had
love
the
that.
opportunity to
What I
work on
do.
some wonderful things lately.
Yeah. So tell me this. How did you actually get the acting bug? Usually someone has a story. Did you see something on television? What was your influence that drew you into that industry?
I think the first time I thought about acting as a real profession was when I was 9 and I saw West Side Story for the first time. And I watched it with my family. And I said that that was something that I really wanted to do, and just started watching old movies and getting a little bit of an education, old TV shows, and going to school. I went to a repertory and conservatory program out there in Laguna Beach, and I've just been very fortunate to be able to do something that I love with my life.
Yeah, what is it that you think that you actually love about acting that made you want to pursue this as a career? It's not an easy road. There are a lot of folks that would like to do it, but you've had great success.
I've been very fortunate. I have. What do I love about acting? That's a complicated question. There's so many things, so many things. I love. This is interesting, but I love the ability to make people feel emotion.
Oh,
Having the ability to make someone laugh, make someone like you if you're the hero, or dislike you if you're the villain, or you know, I don't know, walk out of the theater or walk out of the movie theater or the live theater with some sort of emotion, um, and to take something out of the theater and bring it with them. I think that that's a very powerful thing, and it's sort of an addiction for me, and I think for a lot of actors.
I love that. Yeah, I've thought about that when I've interviewed a lot of people who have decided that they want to make this profession of acting, and it really is an incredible talent to be able to transfer yourself, become someone very different, and evoke that emotion, whether it's good, whether it's a bad emotion, or it's really truly a talent. And I know that you've worked hard at those skills along the way. In fact, let's see, Laguna Playhouse Conservatory Training Program is where you started. And then
Yes.
you've been working in the field in other areas too. So, talk a little bit about building up your resume and the things that you've done.
Well, I've certainly been very lucky to have a lot of great educators to teach me along the way. I worked with the conservatory program and various acting classes as well, that have helped me gain experience to be able to get those opportunities. Let's see, I've had some opportunities on Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah.
I've had some opportunities on General Hospital recently. And most recently, I have had 6 months as working as the core background performer on a show that has just recently come out called Palm Royale with Kristen Wiig and Carol Burnett and Ricky Martin, and just working with some really wonderful people and having some great opportunities there as well.
What a cast there. Can you tell me a little bit about it, what it was like to be in production for that show? I mean, that really is an amazing cast that you just, spouted off right there. I mean, Kristen Wiig, she's so amazing. And I mean, I can't even imagine being around Carol Burnett. I think I would just be starstruck and all for sure. She seems like she
Amazing.
would just be so wonderful though.
She really was. Her character is the scenes where we worked with her. Her character is a bit subdued. So she was in character. She wasn't big Carol Burnett where we see her normally. She was a little
Yeah.
subdued and in character when I worked with her. But it was just so wonderful to meet her and just the energy on set when she walks into a room. Um, People pay attention. I mean,
She's a
it's Carol
legend.
Burnett.
She's a
She's a
legend right
legend.
there.
Yes, yes. And just having the opportunity to see her every day and knowing that getting up to work in the morning and saying I'm going to work to with Carol Burnett today is just an amazing feeling. And she is such a professional and so wonderful to work with and so kind and gracious. And I mean, just this entire cast is just so star-studded. I mean, it doesn't even stop there; it just begins there. I mean, we had Allison Janney. We had so many tremendous people on set. So it was great. Josh Lucas. It was great to work with all of them.
You get a role like that. I mean, that just puts you at the next level to do something even more exciting. So I can't even imagine the emotions that you must had getting that role and then thinking, what is this going to do for me? And I'll get to use my talents in some other place moving forward. So that is exciting to have gotten that role.
Yes, you never know what opportunities can come your way in this business, and that's one of the most exciting things about it is the surprises.
Yeah.
Some of the most interesting parts that I've had have just come from random chance opportunities. I did a part a couple of years ago where I ran into a friend just walking down the street, and she offered me a role in a film series that she was producing. So it's just, sometimes it can just be happenstance. That's why you never want to say no to any opportunity. You always want to make sure you say yes because you'll never know where it can lead.
100%. So, talk a little bit about what it's like to actually pursue acting. I mean, a lot of folks, I don't think they really understand how hard it is. I mean, you talked about working another job while you're pursuing acting, trying to get those background roles or whatever the case may be. You have to just consistently be showing up, and these days you show up by doing self casting, so you can just send in a videotape, so you don't actually have to show up anymore. So it's really helped a lot of other people, I guess, be a part of the world of acting due to technology changing. So talk about the journey and what it's like to pursue this career.
Well, as far as the technology goes, a lot of things have changed in the last 5, 10 years. It's a lot more self tapes, which has its good and bad points.
Yeah.
Personally, I enjoy in-person auditions and just being in the room with the person and having the energy. But the self-tapes are nice because it gives you the opportunity to redo it and make it perfect and make it exactly the way you want it to be. And also it gives you the opportunity to audition all over the country, all over the world.
Yeah.
So that has changed a lot. The journey, as far as the journey goes of being an actor, it's quite a journey. It's quite a commitment, and it's something that's not for everybody. I remember my college acting coach, the first day of class. He walked in the room and he said, if there's anybody here that even thinks that they even a little bit want to do something else with their life, you should leave now. And nobody left that first day, but by the end of graduation there were about less than half of us left. So it's definitely a commitment. It's a journey. It's something that you have to really want to be doing 100% in your heart, but if you do, I think it's well worthwhile, and it's been a wonderful journey for me. I've been very fortunate. You have to look at it as a business, I believe, always, and take it seriously. And don't take any shortcuts. Go to class. Make sure you have your ducks in a row as far as your headshots and your resumes and your education. But it's been a really wonderful journey. I've been very, very fortunate to be able to choose my life's path in that way.
That's wonderful. As you were telling the story about your professor, I thought, I bet he's going to say half or less. Ended up, sticking to it because it is not easy.
Yeah.
You have to get a thick skin and you have to be okay with rejection. That's tough. And a lot of
Hmm.
people can't handle that. And then also they're thinking, I've got to pay my bills, so I've got to work another gig that I really don't like to be able to pursue something that I totally love that I may only get to do here or there until I reach a certain level. It's a lot of balancing, a lot of emotional, ups and downs too.
Yes, it can be. I spent 10 years, like I was saying before, working in an office job and doing theater at night. And it was good as far as it gave me financially a steady place to be, but I was really missing something in my life. I really missed going to work in film and television every day and in theater every day during the day and not having that, 8 to 5 commitment. And eventually, when I had the opportunity, I left that and just sort of pursued acting full time since then. But financially it can be tough, mentally it can be tough. You got to have a thick skin, like you said, and you definitely can't take anything personally.
Yes.
I've heard some pretty tough words out there, and I've always stuck through it and used those as inspiration going forward for success. And I think
Yeah, good
that's
for
where
you.
you have to take those
Yeah,
things. Yeah.
for sure. I was in television, for 35 years, and it can be hard, the feedback that you get oftentimes from people, their thoughts, or they just want to, uh, they don't mind sharing it. So you have to really get good with yourself and know that, okay, everybody has an opinion that may or may not be the truth. And then you have to think, what can I learn from what people are saying, or why do they feel that way? So um, if you can take the criticism and use it to your benefit to become better, I'm sure that makes you in the long run a better actor, I would assume, and be able to persevere through it all.
Absolutely. And isn't it funny how the criticism, it never comes from someone that's doing better than you. It always comes from someone that doesn't really have themselves together.
True.
So I try not to take advice from those that I don't respect.
True, very true.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of respect, you actually hosted like a radio show. It was called La La Land Talk, correct?
Yes, I did.
Tell me about
La
that.
La Land Talk. The only Los Angeles-based talk show by Los Angeles artists about Los Angeles artists. That was our tagline. We focus on Los Angeles-based artists, whether that be singers, musicians, actors. We had a psychic on once. We had a psychologist on once. Just sort of anybody that was any sort of Los Angeles-based artists. There is so much talent here in LA that goes unseen sometimes. So I loved having the opportunity to do that. We did it for 4 years and produced 200 shows, three live events, and it was just a really great time.
That's wonderful. And I think it's great when you can focus on artists and the things that are good in your community and see the talents of everyone. And I love that. That's one thing I love about my show is I get to do that as well. Talk a little bit about what's coming up next for you and what future plans do you have? Any roles that you're working on?
I'm constantly auditioning. I'm constantly self-taping. I'm always doing background work as my sort of day job, and paying attention and trying to have my materials together right now. To be honest with you, I'm getting a reel together, and I think that's what a lot of actors are doing right now post strike. The work is
Yes.
slowly ramping up, and that's been wonderful.
Yes, I'm actually because I ended up doing a few small roles for a couple of Christian films. I am on what's called Actors Access, and you know what that is. Regular
Yes,
folks who aren't involved in the industry may not be familiar with it, but it's basically a website that shows you the different roles that are available that you may qualify for. And I have noticed since the strike, we are seeing more and more productions coming up. So that's exciting for people like you that are ready to work and ready to get at it, so to speak.
yes, absolutely. I think now is the time for everybody to be getting their stuff together, to be getting ready to work, because from what I've heard, there's going to be a lot of work coming in the next few months.
That's
So
exciting.
looking
So
forward to
what
that.
is it that you would like to do? Like what role would you like to play that maybe you haven't played yet?
Good question. I think I would like to work a little bit more in comedy. I've done a lot of drama. That's been my forte, and it's been wonderful. I've had a great time with it. But I think I'd like to do a little more comedy and just it's interesting as you get older as an actor and you age out of certain roles and age into other roles. There's more variety of things that you want to do. I'd like to direct as well. That's always been
Okay.
something in the back of my mind. I think as I get older, that's been more of a priority. So yeah, those are more comedy and a little directing would be great to have in my future.
That's great. So is there anybody in particular that you would like to work with, whether it's to direct them or to, work alongside them?
I've been asked that question before. I
Have you?
always tell people I mean, there's a lot of wonderful actors out there, but I think my next great scene partner. I get so much enjoyment from working with new people, working out a character, working out a scene with them. And I've been so fortunate to work with so many great actors. I'm always looking forward to working with my next great scene partner.
I love that. Is there
Yeah,
anybody that you look to as a role model in your industry that you've said, I like how he does that or she does that, or I admire their ability to whatever that may be, make someone laugh or make someone cry or really get into a character so much that you almost forget who they are in real life. And that's really the goal of acting.
it is. I Some of my favorite actors are Al Pacino and Paul Newman. I think they're just so great and so talented. The way that they command a scene. If any of your viewers haven't seen a movie called Dog Day Afternoon, it's a great movie with Al Pacino. The way he commands a room and commands a scene and forces an audience to pay attention. You just
Yeah.
get so wrapped up in his work anytime I see him on screen. I would love to have people say that about me one day. I would love to
Yeah.
be that type of actor.
Well, I'm sure that you will, and those are 2 very great, amazing actors that, we've watched for years, so two good ones there for sure. So as we wrap
Absolutely.
up, talk a little bit about we talked about what's next. You want to maybe do directing, of course, maybe more comedy. How can people connect with you and see what you're doing and follow you in your career?
Well, you can always follow me on linktree.com/ Brett Chapin. That's where all my links are. I'm on all the socials. You can follow me on brettchapin.net. And, there's a couple of things coming up. I've got Maven coming up in a few months. That's the new Michael Jackson movie starring Michael Jackson's nephew. Um, Absolutely Jafar, an absolutely amazing actor. I think people are really going to love that. And then there's a film that I just worked on with James Franco called The Policeman. James Franco plays a policeman, and I will let you learn more about that as it comes out. But yeah, a
Perfect.
couple of big projects coming up, and please follow me on the socials.
Okay, and I forgot to ask. I think you're like one of 5 children. Is that correct?
I am. I'm the youngest of five. We've got four boys and a girl right in the middle.
Are
So
you
two
the only
boys, a
actor in
girl,
your
and two boys.
family?
I think I'm the only one that pursued it as a career. Yeah, when we came out here on my 10th birthday, and my brother and I were sort of pursuing it side by side together, and he was getting some things and I was getting some things, but he moved on by his teenage years into other things, and I stuck with it. So I'm the only one in my family. My mother actually was an actor, but I'm the only one of the younger generation that I think pursued it.
This kind of goes back to what the professor said. Less than half will stick it to it, and you're the ones that that wanted to stick to it. So good for you.
Yes, it's been my dream. I've been so fortunate, so blessed, and I'm just so grateful to so many people along the way that have helped me professionally and personally and just supported me. Um, yeah, I've been very fortunate.
I love that. Well, I'll continue to look for you on the big screen as well and wherever else that you show up because I know that you will. It has been an absolute pleasure to speak with you today and to share your story. And I guess for aspiring actors, your advice to them would be what, Brett?
Treat this as a business always. When you wake up in the morning and your feet hit the floor, you're at work. So make sure that you pay attention to those that you respect and those that have something to say, something important to say and worthwhile to say, and pay attention to yourself. Most importantly, do the uh, do what's in your heart. I think make the decisions in this industry that are in your heart, and you'll be okay.
Great advice. Great advice. Thank you so much for being my guest today. Very inspirational. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Nicole. It's been wonderful to talk with you.
Absolutely. And that will do it for this edition of Conversations with Nicole. Until I see you again, I hope you have a great day.